Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the summary for the day of 886 for the 28th of July. And the Frontline Changes report has been out on the main channel, so if you have not watched it, do check it out. The link, I will put it at the end of this video. And there is one frontline change since I put out the Frontline Changes report is over at Novosibirsk, Persia. And over at Novosibirsk, Persia in the Avdiivka front, where the Russian forces have previously been reported to be almost capturing the entire settlement. We have a geolocation of Russian forces over this position here. And they raised the flag over basically on the western part of this settlement, which means that the Russian forces have basically taken over the rest of Novosibirsk, Persia. It's probably very unlikely that Ukrainians are still in the settlement, as I mentioned before, and I decided to take this as the signal for the capture of Novosibirsk, Persia, as I announced it and basically marked it as captured by the Russian forces. So the Russian Defense Ministry have not announced the capture yet, but we are probably going to see it at latest a week from now. So this is the frontline change. We go into the strategic and tactical reporting, and we go to the Kharkiv front. So over the Kharkiv front, we have pretty much similar stuff. Over at the Lipsy sector, there is no more fighting over the Lipsy region. We have the clashes mainly over at the Klipoke region, so they are still fighting in that area. Geolocation of airstrike, Fab 3000 allegedly destroyed some Ukrainian position within Lipsy itself. So that's about it. So we move on over in Kravske, just opposite of Burvatka region. There is a Krasnopol strike on some Ukrainian position, which is a guided artillery. Over in the Voschan sector, Russian forces are attacking while the Ukrainians are also attacking, Russians attacking Taikei. So the usual. So there is still geolocation of Russian airstrikes on Ukrainian positions, and the Ukrainians did try to use a drone attack over on the aggregate plant. However, what it does is a massive explosion and a confirmation that the Russians actually have conquered the entire of the aggregate plant. So that's the main thing that I care about. The effectiveness of the explosion, no, not very important to me. But the explosion is pretty big for a very small track vehicle. So that's interesting. We move on away from the Kharkiv front over at the Kupiansk front. And before I continue, do check out the yesterday's SITREP. I got into in-depth analysis for many of the front line and how the Russians fight. I also will put it in the end of the video, so do check it out if you missed yesterday's report. So over at the Kupiansk front, Russian forces attack at Sinkivka, Tabaivka, and towards this location called Novosnove. So Novosiove, correct. Yeah, Novosinove. Sorry, Novosinove. So I zoom in a bit, you probably can see better what it means. So it basically is the Russian forces controlling the Peshani region, this launching an attack in the direction of Novo-Osinove. So it's Novo-Osinove. Did I miss the O? Novo-Osinove. Yeah, I missed the O. So that's why I'm pronouncing it wrong. So in that direction, so the Russian forces must have some advanced position right now to have this kind of reports. So we already have previous report on Khrushchevka as well as Kolinivkivka. So the Russian must be pushing out from Peshani region. So we shall see how this develops. And then we move on. Over at the Svetove front, we have Russian forces reportedly attacking towards Novoselievka as well as Makievka and Nevsky. So over the Makievka Nevsky region, we have a number of geolocation. One resulted in the invalidation of Russian claims. These are all FPV drone strikes, and over at Makievka is also FPV drone strike. So the Russian forces attacking in this area here. However, we are seeing Ukrainians getting a bit better mapping by by invalidation of Russian mapping. So, and over at the Crimea front, we have nothing over the Serbianske forestry. The fighting is mainly in the northern part, with fighting towards Novosadove, Terny, and Torske. Ukrainian forces reportedly counterattack or attacking at Torske. So that's about it. Within Serbianske forestry, there was some kind of artillery or airstrike on Ukrainian position. Not very important per se. So that's the strategic situation over here. Over in the Sivas front, the Sivas offensive continues. We have the return of Perezne. The fighting at Perezne, Russians continue to put pressure at Sperne, Ivano-Darivka, and Verkhem-Okanyamske. Serbianka was reportedly shelled, so that's about it. No updates regarding this. The northern sector of the northern flank of the Bakhmut front returned with Ukrainian Defense Ministry report fighting at Vasilkivka, Bodani, over at Krykorivka to Chasivya, and there is an attack towards into Nove and or Novi. So the one at Nove is interesting because there is a possibility that the Russians have entered. We do not have any mapping to confirm that yet. According to the reporting from Ryba, they said that the Russian forces occupied the first line of houses in the Novoye region or Nove micro district. We shall see how this develop. I think it needs more time or more evidence before we can change the mapping, particularly coming from Deep State UA or Ryba's mapping. We shall see how this goes. But it's important to note is the return of the northern flank. Bodane, Vasilkivka is now in danger, and the fall of these settlements will be disastrous. So let's see how this goes. Over in the southern half or the southern flank, Russian forces attack in the Ivanivske region, Klishchevka, and towards Bilahora. So the fighting reported towards Bilahora was reported by the Russian Defense Ministry. So it's interesting. But of course, no, it could be just shelling reports. Over in the New York front we have fighting reported at Pivnishny, Torex, Zalizny, and New York region. So very typical, nothing's very special. There is a geolocation of the front line. There is battle within the high-rise buildings. So there is some clashes over there. It doesn't make any frontline change because it was a frontline geolocation. So that's it from there. Geolocation of a TOS being striking Ukrainian position on eastern New York. This is concerning because it represents the arrival of the TOS-1A or TOS-2. I'm not sure. TOS system is the thermobaric missile system. So these are devastating one shot kill weapon. So yeah, we shall see how this develop. It is used to destroy manpower in heavily fortified regions. Russia in the northern flank of the Avdiivka front, as usual, Russian forces continue to harass Kalinove. There is attack towards Zelenopole. Fighting reported at Novo Alexandrivka, Volizenka, Timofeyevka in progress towards Ivanivka. I believe this is Ivanivka. Yeah, it is Ivanivka. And so that's the current strategic situation around this region. Some Russian geolocation in the southwest of Luzovatske within the border, so nothing very special about that. Ukrainian Defense Ministry said that Novo Alexandrivka is one of the area where the Russians have the biggest concentration of forces. The other is towards Zelane, which I will cover in a while. At the Avdiivka front. So there is a big concentration of forces here. So I'm anticipating some kind of a big attack over at Vodizenka. So let's see how this go. Over in the central flank. So the other force that is clustered is near Zalene, where the Russian forces have some kind of big force around this area here. Clearly, this is natural to be this case because we believe that the Russians are on the Pokrov offensive. So clearly, there will be a big force in this region here. But strategically speaking, we have fighting reported progress towards Ivanivka, as mentioned before already. Inversely, towards Zaline, towards Serhievka, southwest of Voschev, towards there's a capture of Novoselivka, Persha, fighting is reported around here as well. We have confirmed the capture of Novoselivka, Persia, and so Russian Defense Ministry announced the capture of Yekhanivka as well as Progress. So a number of geolocation, announcements. So Yekhanivka, Progress, and Russian Defense Ministry claim they have captured it, which we already announced the capture, and now we also confirm the capture of Novoselivka, Persia. Russian forces geolocated south of Vostchev, them raising the flag at Vostchev. So I believe we're going to see the next announcement tomorrow, or later or around today, or already announced, I do not know, by the Russian Defense Ministry that they have captured Vostchev. So so that's about it around this area here. So the Russians continue to expand their zone of this bulge over here as they continue to progress towards Pokrov. Over in the southern flank, we only have fighting at Yasnobrodivka being reported, and that's about it. Over in the Battle of Krasnohorivka, we have the Ukrainian mapping corroborating some of the Russian claims. Otherwise, there is still fighting reported in the region of Krasnohorivka. We are currently unclear where the fighting is. We shall see whether there's more reports tomorrow to tell us more about this. Over at the Marinka region, there is fighting reported at Georgievka, and that's about it. Further south, in the Konstantinivka region, Vodian region, Russian forces attacking at Paraskoviyevka, at Konstantinivka, and there is geolocation of Russian forces advancing over in the south of Konstantinivka, and this is significant because this is even nearer than the other advance. The Russian forces is within 1.5 kilometers from the highway. This one over here that was geolocated previously was 2 kilometers. So this is even nearer, and we have now in fact three-prong attack on this highway. So one of it is on the city, there's another two on the highway itself. So the Ukrainian forces will have to take emergency actions, in my opinion, to quickly plug off all these holes. Or if this becomes the front line, it's going to be a major problem. The highway cannot be used, so it will complicate logistics. So let's see how this goes. There's some fighting reported in the Voleda region, or at least the Russian Defense Ministry claim to have improved the situation along the front line near Voleda. We move into the Velika Novosilka sector. Fighting is reported towards Novodarivka, and there is some weird reports coming from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. Ukrainian Defense Ministry in their this morning's report talking about yesterday's incidents, Rozdone and Novoselivka, Velika Novosilka was mentioned to have Russian forces conducting assault near these locations. How the Russians are able to assault these two locations, I have no idea. Is there a massive advance by the Russian forces in this region that allows them to attack somewhere near to these two settlements? Is unclear. I don't think that is the case, but yeah, some very weird report from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, so we will have to monitor and see how this developed. Over at the Zaporizhia front, we have geolocation of airstrike at Huyaipole. We struck some Ukrainian positions. Russian forces are attacking towards Huyaipole, towards Malatomashka in the Robotine region, towards Novodanilivka and Novoandrievka. So the main sector is still Orikhiv, but this one towards Huyaipole is a bit interesting. This is acknowledged by both sides. Both Russian and Ukrainian Defense Ministry mentioned about this. So, yeah, I wonder if something very, very major is happening there. Over at this Kherson front, we have fighting reported in the north of Krinky and towards Dnipropetrovsk. So information is coming from Ryba and the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. Russian Defense Ministry reported shelling at Poyativka and Tyakhinka, and a geolocation of Lancet hitting Ukrainian artillery over in the Virivka region. So this is a field location. There's some action over the past 24 hours, and that's about it from the Kherson front. And that's it. It's time to say good night. No. Thank you for watching. Do press the like button, subscribe, and I gotta go to sleep. You can probably tell I'm very sleepy, so this is probably the last thing I'm gonna do publishing this video and then I will faint. So and of course, check out the video, the SITREP especially. I did a lot of analysis, so do check it out. And of course, the frontline changes report if you want to watch it. I'll see you guys in the next update.